Good morning, everyone. This is Marlena McCullough from Arkansas, and I'm welcoming everybody to this Zoom number 107, and it's September 20th, 2025. Um, Let me change my virtual background because this is what I used last week, and I want it a little different. So let's do that one, maybe. Or this one. Yeah, let's do this one. I try to make it a little different, so every time it looks different. Anyway, um, so this is close to October 1st, and October 1st is when they have the new visa, the J1 visa slots available. So it's a good idea to start or continuing your professional journey by applying at www.schoolspring.com. I know when you first log in there, you may have to create an account. So if you need help, just let me know. My email is mcculloughmarlena@gmail.com. You can see the spelling right there by the um, picture right there online, the image online. This is for those that are new here that has never watched us. This is a bi-monthly meeting, Zoom meeting with international teachers who are usually members of ITSA, the organization I founded, and that is International Teacher Support in America. And we do have a Facebook group plus a YouTube channel there that you could like and subscribe if you want. Um, we still in Facebook, we have close to 10,000 now. So, that's our goal that we could reach that soon. And on YouTube, we only have 1,000 goal, and we are 300 away from it. I think 300 something away. So if you can help us, please like and subscribe to add to our numbers, and please share our pages and our YouTube channel links to your friends and relatives anywhere. So I am going to welcome Angel and Maria. Angel and Maria, you're the first two. Welcome to our Zoom meeting. Angel, that's a cute picture. Maria, welcome back. Angel, I think you're new. I don't remember your last name. Angel Duaso and Maria Benavides. I have to get my glasses. It's Benavides. So, Maria or Angel, do you want to talk to me? I'm trying to get his Jessa is coming on too. I'm trying to wait on Mike or Giselle or somebody to help me by being my co-host. If none of them will show up, I may ask one of you to be my co-host. Yeah, on chat group, Maria said, "Hey, Doc, Marlena, hello, everyone." Well, I'm just gonna pay hello back from Arkansas. It is a very beautiful day here today. Of course, hot again. Not as hot as in the Philippines, but it is warm. All right, so we've got um Joel. So Joel Duaso and Maria and Jessa. So far the three of you. I can any of you talk to me? I want to see where you are from the Philippines. Do you want to start, Maria? Maria or Joel or Jessa? Okay, Jessa's already the mic's off. Jessa, what's up? How are you doing? How's your day? How's your weekend so far?
Hello, Doc. Good
Hello, how are
evening.
you? Hey, how are you? I've talked to you before, right? Have I talked to you before?
Um, not yet, Doc.
Okay, yeah. You know you do favor my sister-in-law, Pamela in in Lapu-Lapu. You have the same beauty. Anyway, so
Uh,
tell me about yourself. Tell us about how you found us first.
okay, before Doc, good evening to all. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jessa T. Constantino from Sipalay, Negros Occidental.
Yes, okay.
Um, I'm currently teaching grade 3 pupils here in the division of Sipalay, Negros Occidental. And I found your about this page, Doc, when I browsed the FB. Then I found this one, and I really excited to be part of this team.
Good job. Thank you so
And
much. Yeah. I'm glad you found us. Yeah, tell us more about your degree, like what your degree was. Do you have your master's degree? The requirements are you have to be teaching the current year. You have to have at least 2 years of experience in the that's aligned to your degree. So if you're elementary, your degree needs to be elementary. You cannot be like teaching high school and then had a degree in elementary unless you have your master's in that area. So tell me about that.
okay, first of all, Doc, I'm currently teaching grade 3 pupils for 2 months, and I have already 15 years of teaching. Then my first year of teaching, I taught grade 2 pupils for 9 years and kindergarten pupils for 6 years and 8 months. And currently, I'm teaching 2 months already the grade 3 level. Then I graduated my elementary education here in Cruzing Tanduay Elementary School as third honorable mention, and I graduated my secondary education as class valedictorian here in Gil Montilla National High School, Sipalay City, Negros Occidental. And I got my degree as Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education in Central Philippine State University, here also in Cabancalan City, Negros Occidental. And luckily, I'm a cum laude of my time. And I earned my Master of Arts, major in Educational Management. And I got 45 units. And I started teaching here in the Department of Education last December 14, 2009 until present. And I already handled three grade level here in the elementary education.
Okay. Very good.
That's
Why do you want to come to the US? Or, why do you want to teach internationally? I guess is what my question would be.
okay. Of course, Doc, the first reason is that I just wanted to continue and pursuing my teaching career, but unfortunately, I am, let's say, I am hard up in terms of salary here in the Philippines because in my 15 years of teaching, it seems that all are exhausted because of family support. Since I have not yet my college children, but I'm planning to save more in order for them to have also the better opportunity when they think when the time comes that they are in their college.
Okay, that's a good plan for the future, but you may want to, if you're gonna be asked in an interview, like they are gonna be asking you on the teacher interview, tell us about yourself. Try not to use the money part as the main thing. You need to say something about possibly about what you gain from it professionally. Like, for example, J1 visa is a cultural exchange program. So it's actually an intercultural. You learn about America, but then your kids, your students here in America will also learn about the Philippine culture. So it's an intercultural program. So you are both learning, not just you, but also your students, about each other's culture. So yeah, that's something that you may want to go first. And then later, of course, you need to say, of course, it doesn't hurt that, America would pay about 8 to 10 times the money compared to the Philippines. Like in Arkansas, we start paying teachers about 3 million pesos a year. And that's a 9 months worth of work from August, like the third week of August through end of May. So that's how the time is here. And I know the Philippines had adjusted our time, our teaching month again, right? Or is it this year? Did you start in August this year? Did you start earlier?
Uh, June, Doc.
Not in June.
June.
Yeah. So you're done in March, right? So you're done in
Yes,
March
Doc.
instead of May. Yeah, well, that's what it was when I left the Philippines. I left in 87. So I've been in America 38 years. And that's what I remembered, that's our time. So now with my I have nephews and nieces in Lapu-Lapu. So I have 10 of them there, 6 and 4, in two families. So my brothers. That's why I try to remember like when to send packages and when to send like school supplies because it helps them a lot when we send some things from here. Like Mama just sent, I don't know, 9 boxes. So anyway, yeah. So like the what do you call that? Um, those boxes that they sell stuff in the market. Okay, okay. It's like, okay, okay.
Yes.
It's our stuff. But anyway, so I'm so glad to welcome you, and I'm so glad that you decided to join us. And where'd you get the link? Where'd you get the link from? Did you get it from Facebook?
Well, no, Doc. I got it in the email you sent to me.
Okay.
I opened and I browsed all. Then I
Okay.
found this link.
Okay. Well, I think that sounds good because a lot of times people would not get the link, but then they will email me, McCullumMarlena@gmail, and then I will give the link and other information, right? I sent you information. The most important one there is that the 50 states, I had put links there of the 50 states and then some of the top 20 top 20 schools in size. And I put it there so that you could just click on the state that you want and find the school or the city that you want to teach in. Do you have a preference of what state? Like I'm in Arkansas. Do you have a preference of what
But
state you want to come? Huh?
I tried to open the school district of Arkansas, and fortunately, Doc, I found a kindergarten position, and I'm planning to apply if
Yeah.
ever.
Good. Do
Yes,
you remember
Doc.
the name of the town? Do you remember the name of the city? Is it Little Rock? Little Rock is the capital. That's like Manila for you. So yeah, Little Rock is the capital of the state. So you can always Google, what's the capital of whatever, for example, Missouri. It's Springfield. Anyway, so there's a lot of states here, 50 states. And so I want to say Springfield, Ohio, Springfield, but I may be wrong. But anyway, I know that Tennessee would be Nashville. And if you want Louisiana, Oklahoma City, and Texas, Austin, Texas. So anyway, you just if you want to be in a big city, you go to the capital because the things are more expensive there. They pay you more, but it's also going to cost you more, like the rent. So it might be advisable to apply with a friend, and then that way you can share the expenses. At first you may not be able to bring your family yet unless you go into debt because schools will not pay for your family. You have to pay for your family. They might pay for yours, but not theirs. So a lot of times they will actually come first, and then 2 or 3 months later, sometimes 6 months later, they will bring their family. Do you have any kids? You have any kids with you?
Yes, Doc.
How how
I have
old?
two kids.
How old are they?
The youngest is 2 years old, and The other one is 13 years old.
Okay, so wow, you've spaced them out. Like that's what I did too. I have a 26-year-old and a 35-year-old. Yeah. So I have a
Okay.
psychologist and a um computer scientist, I guess. Yeah, so I have spaced them out. I think it's good because they have time with you by themselves. At the same time, it's kind of was they felt like an only child. And of course in the Philippines we have so many people that we can play with. We have cousins and all that. Here in America, you're pretty much isolated, like unless you live in a place where you have lots of neighbors and you know them. A lot of times in America, you don't know your neighbors. In the Philippines, that's impossible to imagine, right? Because we always, have relationship with our neighbors. We send them food and all that. Here, they would be like wondering, why are you sending me food? It's not something that's the same. Yeah. So, but anyway, but the southern part of the United States, when you look at the map and you see Arkansas, there, if you make a line across, and that will be the south. And so the south would be, the weather would be better. It's not going to be as snowy. So if you want really like a lot of snow, you look at the map and you find one on the north, the very top one, close to Canada, because Canada, it will be cold. Okay. So if anytime North Dakota, South Dakota, Maryland, all those places there that's close to Canada, those are cold. So you might want to be thinking about that. Yeah. A lot of times the Filipinos would come here and they wouldn't have any jackets because we don't have jackets in the Philippines, but jackets are expensive when you buy them in the mall, but you can buy it in like used places like okay places, but it's here it's called Salvation Army or Goodwill, which is, a place where people donate their stuff. And then what money they generate from that, they would help others. So it's like a charity thing, but you buy stuff really cheap there. Instead of a jacket that's $100, you buy it for $4, $6. So it's yeah. So you learn all these things. It's fun to go. A bunch of the Filipino teachers here in Arkansas. I have maybe brought in close to 200 teachers now, but about 60 possibly in Arkansas to 70. Anyway, so they would go together. They'd come to my house. I live about 4 hours from them, 3 or 4 hours from them. And so they would come to my house and then they would go stop by Goodwill on the way back because on Sundays, they usually have like the things that are on sale. They have different colors, on their clothes. So every week they have a different colors that are going on sale. That's half price. So whatever the half price for the week, for example, green, then all the greens on Sunday becomes $1. So so it's
What?
pretty cheap. Yeah. So especially if you go early, then you can see all the bargains. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of fun. It's very different. And the thing is here, Jessa, the elementary teachers seem to be having a harder time to come because they are hiring the high school first because a bunch of our colleges are spitting out a bunch of elementary teachers. So a bunch of our local teachers here are choosing elementary. So there's not as much need in elementary. But if you go to like a big city, like the capital, I see that they have a lot of needs for them. So that's the advantage. But at the same time, it's convenient. Everything there is convenient, where you will have transportation like public buses and all this, like we do in the Philippines. But which means you don't have to really drive. But when you go to I like a province like mine, I see Marco. Welcome, Marco. Anyway, when you see in a province like mine, you have to drive because there's not even a taxi. Well, in my town, there's like one taxi, a family now that's doing a taxi service, but a lot of times there's no taxi and it's so expensive anyway. So now there's in big cities, you will have Uber and Lyft like you do, I'm sure in the Philippines they do have that now, Uber Eats and all that, but not where I live. Where I live, you better drive because we drive far away. I drive 4 hours one way just to get to see them, the teachers. And then, of course, a lot of times I will just like spend a night and then go and see them, in the morning because it's so far a drive for me. If I have to like go straight to them, I will have to leave about 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning here in order to reach them by 8 o'clock. So yeah, so it's not convenient to just visit, make it a day trip. Yeah. So in the Philippines, it's so handy because we have all these buses, these tricycles, these jeepneys, right? We don't have that here. Yeah, we don't have that here. And of course, in the big cities, that's why people don't drive because it's hard to park. It's hard to find parking. And then you have to pay for parking. It's not cheap because you have to pay for parking in the big city. So it's usually much more convenient to like take the public vehicles, public transportation. Yeah. You have any question for me? They'll always ask you that on the interview. Like, do you have a question for us? Always have a question, Jessa. You need to prepare a question. Like, what do you have? What kind of question comes to mind while I was talking to you?
Good. Since the teachers coming in the US would have the FCE doc, can I take FCE in any other evaluators,
What do you mean?
not Pantran,
Yeah, Spantran is
or
okay.
it's Pantran?
Yeah, Spantran is okay. That's actually the most common one. There is another one. I forgot what it was, but Spantran is the most commonly used. It doesn't matter which company, as long as it is an evaluator company to that will translate what your credits in the Philippines are and how much what it is in the US. That's pretty much what it does, is like to translate. Like when I came here in 87, I had 2 years and a half of college hours. They call them hours instead of units. And so I had I think 111 or something. And then because I was a pre-law student in University of San Jose, USJR in Cebu. And so anyway, um so when they evaluated mine, I was only given like 88 because every 3 credits, 3 hours is only given 2 and 1/4 hours credit. So you lose 3/4, in order a 3/4 hour when they counted it up. And so yeah. So it that's the way it looks like. And without that, you have to have it. Because a lot of times if the school is interested in you, of course you're gonna start with when you go to schoolspring.com, for example, they're gonna want your cover letter and your resume, and make sure your resume have a little picture on top if you want. A lot of times here locally we don't have to have it, but to me, international teachers that they've never seen you, it's good to have a picture of you, because it speaks 1,000 words, right? And then always have your course, your education there, your years of experience, your extracurricular, if you have any. Like I was a chess coach. So I put that on mine, that I am I played chess in college even. And then I humbly say that I actually won. So I taught chess, K-12 chess after hours, and I didn't get paid for that. In my school they did not have any money to like pay, but I wanted to just give my time, 2 hours of my time every Tuesday and Thursday, and the kids were like staying, and then the buses would not pick them up, and so the parents have to pick them up, after our chess practice. And I was pretty strict. Like if they were late 3 times, they're out of the. I'll kick them out. I had never had to kick out anybody, but I was strict. So they knew that, oh, she means business. I don't want to have. I usually had like 77, like 70 something members from K-12. I do not have to deal with like, so many kids waiting for the parents that do not show up. I don't like that. So I never had the issues with it. They would be lining up by the parking lot already, ready to pick up their children whenever we were done. And I had partnered up with parents. So parents actually helped me. So I have different tables in the cafeteria. And so there's a parent at every table. So at least there's that help for, individual help for them too. But I usually like have a little mini lesson, like I would explain some strategy or whatever in the beginning. And then I had the parents there, they already know where they're gonna be. And I made it set up like you would a karate belt, they have different colors. The folders will be different colors. So they start with white folder, the plain white folder, and they go work themselves up the black folder, like a black belt, or gold. We call them black and gold because our school colors are black and gold. So the folks at the black and gold tables were like my daughter, Stephanie, who had learned chess early, and so she was one of the best. Like they have to beat me in order for them to reach there. So two or three of her, she and two or three of her friends did. So they were there, and then they were able to help others too. But it's kind of fun. I really, in fact, I see some folks in the community when I moved on and I got my doctorate degree and I moved on to another school, nearby, a bigger school. And they always said, "Yo, we're so sad because my child was really looking forward to having you, in that grade, and you left us." And my child was looking forward to having the chess club again, and nobody took it, over. And so when I left, it died. And so anyway, so when you talk about that extracurricular activity, you could include like badminton if you play badminton, even if you did not coach one, but you know how to play. And you could always say, I don't know if you have a badminton here, but this is something that's big in the Philippines. I don't, if there are students interested, I could do something like that. Because here in America, if just as long as you have a teacher that's willing to sponsor, they could have any club. You sponsor, like I was sponsoring like science club, a science fair club, and then the Olympiad, which is like a contest for science, like a science quiz contest thing among schools. So I have sponsored those in another school when I was working in another school. But anyway, so they will be asking you that sports would be good. So if you, for example, have played softball, volleyball, all those are good sports too. They're very competitive in that. So you can say, I have played volleyball before, and I would be willing to, since you know the rules, I'd be willing to help sponsor one or be an assistant coach. Maybe you have to be an assistant coach first to learn everything and then become one. So you can kind of say something like that because you become more, I guess, um, employable, like, more attractive to them because, oh, we might be able to also find somebody to coach. Um, some people would do like yearbook, of course, that's usually high school English teachers would do the yearbook. And if they're English teacher, they would say, I'm willing to do, yearbook, or I've already, help in my school's yearbook, so I know what to do. Things like, what do you like to do? Like if you have to sponsor something, what would you say?
Well, I,
What is it? Do you have any sports that
uh,
you like to play? Chess or anything?
yes, actually, I'm a coach badminton here
Badminton.
in
Okay.
the elementary.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, doc.
They don't have badminton here. I do not know in cities where close. Yeah.
Sometimes I played chess,
Chess. Yeah, chess would be a
and
good one to mention. Yeah. Yeah. Because you can say, I know badminton might not be a big sport there, but it is in the Philippines, but chess is something that's big everywhere. Yeah. So that's something, it's always good to have something like that. And then and what kind of question would you ask them? What kind of question would you ask the principal that's interviewing you? What would you ask?
um, about the ano doc, about the team.
Such as what? Like professional development? What are you planning to ask them? Like, an example would
Well,
be like, what kind of professional development do you offer new teachers or something like that?
yes, doc. I just want to ask, what are the professional developments do you offer to the teacher, especially in our classroom things
Manage,
that
yeah, management, yeah. And classroom management and classroom strategies, yeah. Those are good. That's a good question. Okay. You can also ask, like, are there other international teachers, in your district? That's also a good thing to ask because then you want to know, is this the first time that they've hired somebody? Because if this is the first time of hiring somebody, they would not even know what to do. They would be like, do you have your visa? And when they ask you that question, you need to say, I don't. but with a job offer, JO, with a job offer, there are some sponsors there for visa sponsors that are vetted by the U.S. Department of State, and they will be the one that would help me. But I have to have a job offer to do that. Yeah, you can do something like that because once you have a job offer, then you look for a designated visa sponsors. You can type this designated visa sponsors US visa, and there's the word bridge on that result. That's the right one, and those are the list of sponsors that you have that you could get. And a lot of times they sponsor would want to interview you. But if you write to them like an email, there's always an email contact there. You write to them and say, I start with that. I already have a job sponsor, I have a job offer. So I already have a JO, and send then introduce yourself. You'll be more attractive to them because they're gonna get, dozens of inquiries, but the ones that have the job offer already will be more attractive to them. Okay, just a little tip about that. Yeah. And so right now, what have you done? Like you sound like you already have FCE. Do you have your passport?
Actually, Doc, I processed my passport yesterday
Nice.
and expecting to claim it next week.
Nice. Okay, good job. Congratulations. That's a big, huge step. You feel like, okay, now I'm ready. FCE and passport would be good. And then start also looking for, because you have your FCE, start looking at US teaching license because there's a reciprocity, which means that they honor the Philippine license and all over the United States. So what you need to do is you can Google their Department of Education. That's our DepEd, right? But you can say, for example, if you want Arkansas, you can Google Arkansas Department of Education. You put a quotation mark. So
Yes.
welcome, Albert. Anyway, so you put a quotation mark, Arkansas Department of Education, and when you go there, you just type licensure. And under licensure, you look for reciprocity. Arkansas is one of those that you have to be here to get it. You have to be here to get your license. So, states that are easier to get the license with you that being done online while you're still in the Philippines are New Mexico. So you put New Mexico Department of Education or Illinois Department of Education, Illinois, Illinois. So there's a silent S. That's where Chicago is. So Illinois Department of Education, and then the other one is Maryland Department of Education. Those are the three that's been commonly used. And I think it might cost you like $100, so about 5,000 pesos to do that. It's going to be done online. So they will ask for FCE and other things from you. And so once you provide that, then you can receive your teacher license from the US, which will make it better for you to apply and say, I already have a teaching license from, university, from the state of Maryland, state of, New Mexico, or state of um, Illinois. So you can say that in your interview, which makes it better, that you actually have gone through the process already and they know that your license will be good because there is a reciprocity, but it's easier if you already get that done. So I would recommend that you get that done because it expires usually 10 years. So you'll have it for a long time, usually 5 to 10 years, depending on what state. But like for me, I'm already retired. I retired in 2016. I put in my years and I have a lifetime license. So I still have a license. So if I ever decide to teach or become an administrator, I was an administrator when I retired. And so when I want to become one, then I already have the license that would be, lifetime. Once you retire, they offer you that. And so of course I took it because I'm like, you never know, but it's nice to have that license. So yeah. Did you know about that information? Are you aware that you can get your license from the US? Did you know that
Yes,
before?
Doc. I browsed the link that you have sent, and I found out that the FCE could be done in Pansan, and I already applied
Okay.
for that.
Well, I'm glad to see that you have clicked on those links that I provided.
Yes,
Usually when you email me, that's the first paperwork document
so
that I send. Yeah. It has a lot of information. Yeah. That's good. I'm glad to see that you did that. I
because it's a great.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you found that helpful. Yeah. All right. So, I had really nice talking to you. Are you aware of the J1 or versus H1B visas? Are you aware of the difference?
Yes, Doc. Yes.
You do.
Um. Yes, I've studied it already. Mine is a 5-year contract. Then after the 5-year contract, I will be going home here in the Philippines and
To,
stay
for
there for
2 years.
2 years.
Yep. And that's the 2 year physical presence requirement for the J1 because it is a teacher exchange program. So they expect you to teach what you've learned and go back to your country, to our country. And so the um, the H1B, I wish Mike would come on here. Mike, most of you know Mike, that my my right hand usually of my co-host. Mike was here for 3 years, I think. Anyway, the sad thing is he was H1B, yes, but he was only given like a limited amount of time. And then he happened to switch to another school. And then when he applied to the second school, he was denied. And so then he has to leave the country. Once you're denied, you have like 60 days or something to leave. And so he didn't want to overstay. So he left last week and just arrived in the Philippines. So I would love to interview Mike to see his experience. I know his kids were so upset because, they went to school here and they love it here. And then now they went back. I think they're from Batangas. So anyway, so yeah, they went back. And so he keeps an he kept corresponding with me. He was asking me, saying new rules and all that I want him to explain here, but he might still be busy. But I told him to show up. I said, if you can show up at all, I would love to, have you share your experiences to others. So maybe things that he learned or whatever. I would love for him to share those because I think, Mike is so knowledgeable about visas and things because he had really helped. In fact, there were four of them at the same time that came in that I helped the school because they never had processed visas before. So I helped them because if I did not help them, guided their HR, then they were going to charge like 4,000, I think $4,000 per person or 5,000, something about that, like a million. It would have taken 1 million pesos for them to just get help to get their visas. And I said, why would you do that? You can just read directions. If you can read the instructions and it give every form has an instruction, and if you just follow that, you're good. And that's what we did. We followed the directions and they were approved, all four of them. And so um, and so anyway, it's doable. You don't have to get a lawyer, I don't think, as long if you don't have a very complicated process, like like you have a big mess there that you have to, that have to be fixed, then you can hire a lawyer because it's so complicated. But if it's just a simple like application, I think you can do it. As teachers, we can read the directions and be able to do it because I don't think lawyers will really like make you get approved faster. No, because they're just gonna be signing on the bottom saying that, we prepare this, and all this for you. But you can be your own preparer of your paperwork. In fact, those that have masters and above, you can actually do a self-petition. If you have the money to come here, you can do a self-petition and petition yourself. But the nice thing to do that is when you call them DIY. If you do a DIY, it's going to cost you money. So you might, it save money, or if you have a place you can borrow, which with small interest, and then do that only if you have a JO. That's what I would do. I don't want you to gamble and just waste your money, your family's resources, and you don't get a job. So it's nice when you have a JO, it's worth, they don't have the money to pay. And for J1 visa, they don't have to pay. The teacher could pay for themselves, or they would pay half or whatever. But for H1B, that's a big difference, is the school has to pay because they are your sponsor. So with J1, you have an outside sponsor. These are the list of sponsors that are vetted by the Department of State. There are only that list. When you Google designated visa sponsors, those are the only folks that could sponsor. So the other folks, if they're not listed in that list, that means they're third-party agency. They need to still contact one of those folks to sponsor. So you are just paying double. So you don't want, well, we don't really want that. But I culturalvistas.org is one that I really like them. I've talked to the founder, Caroline Gillum, and it's C. Gillum at culturalvistas.org. Or Minga House Foundation is not they're not listed there, but they're a third party, but they're a nonprofit. So Glenn is actually, at Minga House would actually be able to help you. And he is connected with 3 or 4, maybe 5 different visa sponsors that he is given so many slots available for him because I guess he's been doing it for like 15 years or more. So it's a long time. She's an American, but he's now based in Colombia. I have talked to him a few times, but yeah, it's those are the two that I would actually really really you know comfortably recommend. The others I do not know. I know that Green Heart has been a common one that they have been using here and others. But anyhow, in my other videos, I've mentioned more. Now I can remember, more in top of my head. So anyway, so sounds like you have done some of your research and you kind of know a lot of things to do already, and that's good. That's really good when you spend. So now that you know all this, I would recommend that you apply every single day. 5 to 10
Yes.
places every single day from the list from www.schoolspring.com. The new visas are available October 1st, you guys. So there's going to be a lot of visas available to all the sponsors. Sponsors will be given like 150, 200 visas, depending on how big they are. And so once those are gone, then they do not get new ones until October 1 again. So the sooner that you get those applied, like you apply to those schools, and if you get an interview and job offer, then there's a lot of visas available by October 1 on. And usually around end of May or June, that's gonna dwindle down. They're not gonna be very much. There's still some in the summer left, but they're gonna be limited. So that's kind of good to know, when you need to be pushing. Right now, you need to all be pushing to apply. Okay. All right. So
Yes.
yeah. So have any closing comment before I go on to the next person? I really enjoyed talking to you, Jess. I think you'll be good. I love the background that you have in your, and I love that you're wearing really professional, and that's what you need to, professional outfit. That's what you need to do when you have your interview is, wear like something that like you're going to church, or somewhere where you have to, really be looking decent. So, and you did that. You don't want to go in there with like sleeveless things and whatever, just kind of make it like professional. Yeah, like you're doing. I like you. I like your outfit. Nice stripe going the right way. Yeah. And so anyway, because sometimes, huh?
Actually, they have this in Okay.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, it looks like something, yeah, from the US for sure. And see your sometimes you have to notice like your background, does it match or does it like clash? Like you don't want to become like a part of your background. Look like you just camouflage in there. You don't want that. Or you just clash. That would not be good either. So yeah. Well, I enjoyed talking to you. I'm so glad that you come on. And I always send these videos to did you say you sent my resume, your resume and cover letter to me? Have you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're
I
one
will.
of those already, then you might be on my distribution list. If you got my email today about this Zoom, then you are on my list already officially. So they did not get that, you need to make sure that you give me your updated resume and cover letter so that you'll be there officially, and then you will get all my correspondence. Um, and some folks are Hi, Debbie. And some folks are also subscribing to my Facebook, and I will be putting a bunch of, I know Marco is one of them, um, to put some exclusive things that are not to the public. I am gathering stuff right now that only can be seen by our subscribers. So that would be something you might want to consider. But anyway, all right. So good luck on your search, okay? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome. You're welcome. Hey, is Debbie? Hi, Debbie.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to be my co-host? Because I don't have it.
Um, right. Good morning,
Good
doctor.
morning.
I am right now in a conference with my husband,
Oh,
but
okay.
I really just want to be with you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, good
Yeah.
morning. I love that picture. Is that you? Is that you and your husband? You're so
Yes,
cute.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You're so cute.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's
I'm
okay.
actually in the bathroom right now,
Okay. Well, good
just
luck.
to be able to hear you
Well, I miss
over
seeing you,
the.
girl. I was like, what
I
did you
was here the last meetings, but I was just late, and I
Oh,
was also trying to just hi.
yeah, it's
Just
okay. I understand. Well,
thank you,
today,
ma'am.
yeah, today we're gonna end by 9 because I have
Yes, ma'am.
to go out of town. So we have a funeral to go to, and it's actually
Oh,
they call
sorry
it,
to
yeah.
hear that.
Well, it's one of my friends, Filipino friends. It's a celebration of life. They call that, when somebody gets
Yeah, yes,
cremated
ma'am.
and you spread the ashes in the river, and that's what we're
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
today is spreading
Yes,
ashes.
ma'am.
Yeah, and kind of have a picnic after that and just enjoy,
Oh,
each other's
great. Yes,
company and
ma'am.
talk about him. Yeah. So that's what we're
Mm.
doing. And of course, we're cooking something to take to the but I have a friend, Zenaida, here, who's the mother of one of the teachers that I brought on H1B, Johnson, Dr. Johnson. And so she's been vacationing in my place. You have seen some of my posts, and Zenaida is there. So
Mm.
Zenaida's such a good cook. Oh my gosh, she's not
Yeah.
lose weight because she's always cooking, but it's been fun to have somebody go with me everywhere I go. And
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
yeah. But anyway, Debbie, it's nice to see you, girl. I'm
Yes,
so
ma'am.
glad. And
Thank you to be here. I'm glad to be here.
well, good. Hey, what you going on with your job? Are you still looking somewhere else? Are you okay with what
No,
you're doing now?
yes, I'm good with what I'm doing now. Actually, ma'am, I got an offer from district Berkeley, the Berkeley
Oh,
district.
wow,
So
that's a
I'm
good one.
still, yeah, by the grace of God, I'm still trying to figure it out because my situation is very different. My parents-in-law are not well, and I have to make sure that you know I, I'm still figuring it out right now. But
Yeah,
I'm very open because a lot of people are telling me that Berkeley Unified District is a very good district.
yeah, it
So
is.
it's yeah. So
Good
I'm not
reputation.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, good reputation. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you know, ma'am. I
Okay.
just recently got my green card as well. So yeah, thank
Yeah.
God, God's been good, and always remembering you as being part of my journey. Please
Oh,
always remember
that's
that,
sweet.
man.
Well, thank you. That's so sweet. Did you have your EAD already, your employment
Yes, ma'am.
authorization? Yeah.
Last March.
Yeah, that's all you need
Yeah.
for now. And then while
Mhm.
your paperwork is pending, you just have to tell
Mhm.
HR that my paperwork is pending. You can even bring
Mhm.
the acceptance letter. You're saying that they received it. That's something
Mhm.
you could take with you and
Right,
they'll wait.
right.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
how many months have you waited already? How long does it
No,
take?
I already got my
Oh, you
green
already
card.
got that. I thought you
Yeah,
were waiting
yes,
for it.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah,
I misheard.
it's
Okay.
finally, ma'am.
Oh,
Yeah,
yay.
yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. I had an interview, and good thing with I don't know. A lot of people are saying with Trump it took so long, but
Uh-huh.
it's taking so long. But for me, it
You
by the
lucky.
grace of God, it's all God's grace
Yeah, it
that
is.
it was. Yeah,
Depending on
yeah.
the state you're in too, maybe because there are different states are assigned a different
Mm-hmm.
different places to send your paperwork, and so
Yes, ma'am.
whoever you send it to might be not as loaded as the others. So you are blessed
Yeah,
that way. So that's cool. For everyone
yeah.
else that's new here, Debbie actually married an American citizen, so she is here, coming here, and
Mhm.
getting her green card, and it's a family-based petition instead of employee-based, like you all are going to be doing. So yeah, Debbie, so
Yes,
that was
ma'am.
still a lot
Thank
of
you.
paperwork, isn't it? That's what we're
A
doing
lot, ma'am, a
a
lot of
lot.
paperwork
Yeah.
to
And
prove, especially with Trump administration. It was very different as what most of my friends were telling me. So it was thick. I brought two bags of 10 years of my relationship with my husband.
yeah, you have to
So
prove that
during the
relationship.
interview,
Yeah.
yeah.
When
No.
yeah, right now my friend Sarah, whose husband is gonna be having the celebration of life today. The sad thing with her is they just got married in March, and then he
Mm.
died in September.
Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah, so that's like, less than 5 months, 6 months. So, all the things that they have to do, she's now doing an I-360, which is a self-petition. Blessed, she's blessed that she has a nephew of Matt that really close to him. And that's helping because he was telling him that, I mean, Matt was telling Dave that if something happens to me, take care of Sarah. And so that's why, I'm so glad that, they're here from Idaho. And that's why I was yesterday, the last 2 days actually, helping them with the paperwork because they don't know,
Yes,
they
ma'am.
don't know what to send. And so
Yes, ma'am.
we were filling out, they were filling out papers that I brought with me. And
Mm,
yeah, and so we have like loads of documents that we're going to be showing,
mm,
correspondences, all those things that, when they were talking about the relationship and so
mm,
on.
mm,
So
mm,
that's why
mm.
everybody was like looking at their phone and seeing some history.
But the percentage of that kind of case, ma'am, usually they are approved because the husband passed away, right?
I do not know. I do
The
not know.
possible, yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's gonna
That's
be,
a
yeah,
mhm.
consular officer's decision. Every case is different because,
Right. That's
yeah, the
true.
officer has the
Yeah, that's
power
very
to say no
true.
or yes,
Yes,
depending on
ma'am.
what you send. So, yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
I guess sometimes it could be a luck thing. Like you find somebody that's not gonna make
Mm,
you giving a hard.
mm,
But I think they have a checklist that they have to go through. They have to checklist
right.
that you have everything. And so hopefully we have enough, evidence, some evidence that we had to come up
Mm,
with were like
mm,
letters from relatives and friends,
mm,
to say that their marriage is bona fide,
mm,
that they are really living together, and
mm,
what kind of things that you have done with them, your relationship, like have you
mm,
attended their wedding and all these things,
mm,
and you just write these
mm.
things in a letter, and then you have to get it notarized. So
Yeah.
everybody, so we had like 4 or 5 letters that we had generated from
Mm,
people they know, and so
mm.
anyway, they
You're
had.
helping out with all the paperwork.
Yes, yes, they've never done
I
it.
was just
So,
blessed to have you, ma'am.
well, thank
Because
you. Yeah,
knowing you've been there for a long time, so at least you
yeah.
have an idea for,
Yeah, because I've
things.
helped so many already. I have already do that. We've been there, done that with mom alone, with my mom coming here in 90. And that
Mm,
was before 9/11, right? So it was easier
mm,
back then, but it still took
mm,
my mom uh,
mm,
3 years and a half to process because she
mm,
came here as a non-immigrant and she wanted to
mm,
stay, and so it took me forever to get that done. And we had
mm.
to get our senator's office to help. And that helped
Whoa.
to make it, to
Mm,
make it go smoothly. And so they
mm,
help us because my husband knew the senator or the congressman. He knew him
mm,
personally. So
mm,
that was good. And every senator or congressman's office, they'll have somebody in their office that is specializing in immigration stuff,
mm,
immigration things, documents. So it's a good thing to reach out to them, especially if you have a
mm,
complicated case. Like mine was pretty complicated.
mm,
Um, anyway, so they helped out every time that I would send something that this lady from the Senate congressman's office would actually put it in their letterhead in their envelope with the senator with the congressman's name on top or on the letterhead
mm,
thing. So that
mm,
really helped a lot, I think, because in some of the letters it said a constituent of so and so. So they actually
mm,
acknowledged that we're constituent of Bill Alexander. That's the guy that was helping us back then. And so anyway, yeah, you do, that's what they're there for, is to help you. So
right.
reach out if you're already in the US, reach out. And so anyway, so Deb, thank you so much for showing up and kind of talking. I do miss it. I'm like, huh, did I say something to make Debbie mad when
No, no, of
I
course,
come
no,
back?
man, no, man. I'm very sorry. My
I was
husband
kidding.
was sick the past
Oh,
week, and but
you
I've
okay?
been here. I've just been here.
Oh,
I was in I think I was only absent one time because
really?
my
Yeah.
husband was sick.
Oh,
But
okay.
the rest of it, I was just around. I was
Yeah.
just paying it, listening. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes there's a lot of people attending in the 40s, but now lately we've not been having many people. But it's okay because it's recorded and it's
Maybe they're thinking, ma'am, that it's because the school year has started, and
yeah,
maybe they're
busy.
thinking, yeah,
Yeah.
there's no hiring for the time
There's
being.
hiring all year long, you guys,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah, that's
they
one
have
thing they
hiring.
should
Don't you think,
know.
Debbie?
Yeah,
There's
yeah, I
hiring
believe
all year
so.
long. Yeah, because there's people going into, and some people would like quit in the middle of the year. They have people that die. They have people that would retire. They have so many different reasons why they would lose teachers. And so, they would always hire. And right, a lot of times, actually, in the middle of the year, they could not get anybody. But yeah. So if I were you, I would continue to always apply, because to me,
Yeah.
like God, you pray and pray and pray, but if you don't do anything, you're
That's
not. What
right.
would God help you with? So you have to say, God, I'm doing my best, but please do the rest.
Yeah.
That's always
What
what
I
I.
observe as well with, I'm not saying all, but my observation, at least from my personal experience, their work ethics, ma'am, if they don't like it, they will just stop. Compared
Yes.
to us Filipinos, our work ethics, it's really amazing because I've heard a lot of testament from the Caucasian and other nationality that
Yeah,
I
we have the
work with that,
persistence in here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we will
That's what.
really finish a contract, at least finish
Yeah.
a contract, not just leave if you want or
Yeah.
if you like it, you
Yeah, and you
know?
should not do that, because if you
Yeah,
do,
yes,
then
ma'am.
it's gonna show up on your record, and
Yes,
you
ma'am.
you burn bridges. They call it burn
Mm,
bridges. Yeah,
mhm.
you're not. You always need your former employers to have good relationship with you, because your
Mm,
new employer to be is gonna be calling them and ask what
mm.
kind of teacher you are. So if you burn that bridge by being mad and not have a good relationship with that former employer, then you're gonna hurt you. Your
Yeah, for me,
chances.
body of work includes your length of service, completing it.
Yeah,
It's part for me that says something about you
I
and
think
your
so
work
too.
ethics. Yeah,
Yeah,
not just believing and be transferring from one school to the other just so because you feel like it or you dislike something. It's
yeah,
still good to finish what you've started, at least
yeah.
the contract.
I'm with
Yes.
you on that, because they always say,
Mm-hmm.
Rolling Stone gathers no moss.
I
And
like
that's,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. You keep changing, you
Mm-hmm.
keep changing. And so that
Mm-hmm.
happens. And but in some situation though, you might have to, in some situation where you're just not
Mhm,
treated really bad, really well,
mhm,
but
uh-huh.
I would still say finish the year. Do not leave them in the middle of the year. And then you can be looking for something at the end of the year.
Yes, ma'am, that's
That's kind
also
of what
true.
happened to Mike. He was like,
Mhm,
he looked for another job, and he finished the year.
mhm.
Debbie, Mike is now back in the Philippines, and
Oh,
yeah, so
oh,
they had he moved from, his original sponsor, moved to a second one, and the second one was disapproved. So because
oh,
of LCA, I think, where it's not his fault. It was not the district fault. It was just the approval process of the labor department. And so finally
yeah.
they got it. And then of course his grace period of 2 months was about approaching. So instead of
Mm,
being here illegally, or you don't want to overstay
right,
all
right,
11
right.
days, so
That's
he
true.
left. So he left. It's been a week
Mm,
now, and I told him to show
oh,
up here so he could tell us some more.
oh, oh.
But yeah, I'm so sad, and he's
He must
devastated.
be a great loss for his
He's a great,
school because it's
yeah,
really amazing from how I've
yeah.
heard
He's an
from
amazing
you,
teacher.
ma'am.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was above.
Oh,
He always went
wow.
above
Sorry
and
to
beyond.
hear that.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that he will
Mm,
find another way to come back here, because I will
mm.
do everything I can to help him. But yeah, he's gonna be missed everywhere, and
Yeah,
organization. He's one of the most active one, like with you.
yeah,
So lots of
yeah, for sure, for sure.
so yeah, so anyway,
Mm,
it's really bothering me that's that kind of happened to him. But anyway, that sometimes it's really beyond our
yeah,
capability to
yes, ma'am,
control.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because it's
I'll be praying personally for him. It's
I've
a
been
whole
doing that.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the kids, the two girls, they love their school, and they have to leave their friends here.
Oh,
And the whole
wow.
community itself, Mike was one of the leaders in the
Yeah,
community.
I know.
Get things together.
Yeah,
So that's
wow.
a big loss. There's always like a big hole that wherever that they touch.
That's true.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
wife, the husband, what Marble is also an awesome person. And
Mm,
so wherever they touched, they really, left a hole.
yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully
Mm.
something good
Oh,
will turn out.
so he's processing for a new one right now, right, ma'am?
Well, there was some new rules or something where he might be
Okay.
not be able to do the H-1B, but I'm hoping he's wrong about that. So I'm looking into it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
there's some new policy now that somehow there's a limit of something. I don't remember. But anyhow, so
Okay.
I
All
will
right,
find out
ma'am.
more
Yes, ma'am.
detail when he talks. I'd rather
Mm-hmm.
have him share his
Yeah, yeah. So
experiences.
that's true.
Yeah,
I'll be praying. I'll be praying for sure, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you,
But
ma'am.
yeah. So anyway, so that's what it is. So Mike, we are thinking of you and Mabel and the girls, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, you will find a way to get back here. We want you back.
That's true.
Yeah. So anyway, that's
Thank
what it is.
you.
And he's got his special ed, he's doing special ed, and that's a really need.
And he was about to take an examination right now.
Yeah, his
Supposed to.
practices. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
actually in the
that's
middle of it.
true. Mhm,
So
mhm.
anyway, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Debbie, but that's what's going on, and that's really, really, really bothered me that he had to go through that. But anyway, sometimes it makes you stronger, I guess, if it doesn't break you. So hopefully, that will turn out fine at the end. So yeah, Mike. So we're thinking of you, Mike. Um, all right. So Debbie, you have any question or ideas or any things that you want to share good about education in California?
No,
She said, yeah.
I guess it's just important for those around here to know that with Dr. Melina, you can really learn a lot. So make sure to be consistent in being here and just ask her. And this is free. We're so blessed to have such a mentor like her. And I'm very grateful and humbled by her being so dedicated to give her time, making time. She made time for all of us. So I hope
Uh,
we value that.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Deb.
ma'am.
You're always one of my best testimonials. So
No,
you're
ma'am,
always so
no,
sweet and nice.
no, it's
Thank you.
you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. But anyway, so yeah, a bunch of our teachers, I guess, are also busy doing lesson planning and all things that
That's
in their
true.
lives.
That's
So
true.
they have not been coming on. So, but I think they've been watching it because, a lot of times I look and see how many views. So there have been a lot of views in both Facebook and YouTube. So I'm hoping those that did not attend will actually watch these Zoom meetings. We only have 1 more hour left, but anyway,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. And I decided, you know what? We do not need those extended meetings. We need to like start limiting it to like 2 hours.
Yeah, for
Um,
you too, ma'am.
yeah, for me too. But yeah, because then it will kill most of my Saturday and then
Yeah,
their
that's
night. So
true.
yeah, so I think we need. I
Thank
guess I
you.
need to watch the time better. But so if you don't have any other comment, I'm gonna go on to the next person. Whoever.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
Deb. Whoever
Yes, ma'am.
wants to talk, I talked to Jessa already. So Marco and Albert, is there anything new with you guys? I know this too. I want to brag on them. They've always attended so many of these. So Marco especially, he's always active. Marco or Albert, can you talk to me? Marco, what's up with you? What's
Yeah.
going on with your
Um,
papers?
so far, with my visa,
Uh-huh.
H1B, it's still in petition.
Okay.
And there's some news, actually, I heard, I think yesterday, it was mentioned regarding with the $100, I think $100,000 fees for those applying for H1B visa petition. So, up until now, based on my HR or the employer from that school, I have no updates with regards to my petition. So I'm thinking if it will be affect with that new policy
You
by
should not be. You
Donald
should be
Trump, I think.
grandfathered in, Marco. If they already have application for you before this date,
Mhm.
before that date, then that's
Yes.
called grandfathered in. That means you are gonna still following the old rule before the date that
Yeah.
the change. So you should be okay, I
Thank you
think.
so much.
Yeah, and that's
I'm
what Mike.
thinking of,
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Mike. If his employer had already emailed or put the the new paperwork that they were gonna send, if they already.
actually the case was open around August 20.
Oh, good.
So I expect it's already on the process, then waiting for, I think there is additional document that I need to submit. So what is that again, RFE, I think additional documents, then I send to the application of UCSC
Okay.
from that additional documents,
Okay, so
then
they did a
yeah.
send new documents. You have to respond to those. They always give you a limit, like you have to send it by certain amount of days, right? So you have
Yes.
to make sure that you'd go within that date because your case will become more complicated if you don't go with the deadline, before the deadline.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what
So
that's why I'm thinking if I'm affected with
no,
that new
no, you're not,
policy.
Marco.
I
You're
think
already in
it
the
will.
process before this new deal. See, when Mike was telling me that 100,000, I'm like, Mike, do you
Yes,
mean $100,000 or 100,000 pesos? So it's $100,000.
$100.
That's five
Yes, that's
million
5
pesos
million.
to
Yes.
come.
And
Oh,
and the employer should pay for that. So I think
So, so
They
they're
will,
not, it's impossible now for teachers because it's
yeah,
like 2 years worth of teachers. Yeah, they're
I
making it
agree.
impossible to come. So, but at least I hope the J1 visa will not be changed either, because if
I
that
hope
is for
so.
H1B, I'm gonna look into that. Because did they say that it is affected immediately, or is it like so many months from now? Is it effective
Um,
immediately?
I have no updates right now, so
Yeah.
I'm still reading with
Yeah.
regards to that.
Yeah, that's really sad to hear that, because I'm gonna look into the details of that, because that is
Yes,
a lot. From $3,000 to a hundred
that's
thousand.
$100.
Yeah,
That's
33
5 million.
times 33. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So anyway, so I guess they're making it really hard for them to come into the United States now to stay.
Yes, that's my concern. Doc
Yeah.
Merlina, I hope I'm not affected with that new policy with the immigration
Yeah.
process.
Well, I hope you're not either. Yeah. So anyway, um.
I think that's all for my concern.
Yeah, for the H1B, yeah. Anyway, so I don't think you are. I may be wrong, but I think you already pending you already have started the process. So I think it's
Yes.
called grandfathered in. So you should be grandfathered in with the new law, with the old law, because so you should be able to use the old law instead of the new one for you, because the date is before that the law happened. So that's usually what is going on, but you never know. We'll have to find more
Yeah.
details. Yeah, yeah.
I,
But I really think it's okay. But of course, I'm not an immigration lawyer. I would never pretend to be. But so it's
yeah.
always good to read everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
read everything. Yeah.
Thank you, Doc
But
Merlina.
congratulations, though, that you're already yay, you're already in the
The
process.
process.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
Thank
they
you so much.
the ones when they applied, is the school that you applied have are they used to doing this, or is this their first time? Do you know?
This is my the school. You mean the
The
school?
school
First time.
have they had some
Uh, so
H1B?
far, so far, the principal told me that there are actually two, I think. Pero I am only the one H1B visa. The
Okay.
rest are international teacher, I think, but
Yes,
for
it is the
other,
first time of H1B, which means that I
yeah,
hope they know that if they apply, if they put in like you have your master's and above, that
yeah,
you should be able to get in. If they check that part like that, where they have the visa cap, the number is I think
yes.
so many thousand more. If you do
Uh,
that, make sure that they did that, because
But I think my it's exempt cap. I think
yeah,
the according to the
yes,
attorney, they said that
yes.
except cap my visa.
Yep, and that's exactly what I was thinking, that I hope they did that. Yeah. Well, good that they're
Yeah.
using an attorney, because the immigration attorney would know. Yeah.
Yes.
So good
Yes,
for
Doc.
them. Yeah, I'm glad they do that. They did that. Yeah. Myrna, welcome back, Myrna. I'm talking to Marco. So anyway,
Hi,
so
hi,
Marco,
Sir Marco. Hi, Doc
Hello,
Marina.
Miss
Good
Erna.
morning.
morning. Hi, Myrna.
Good
I
Yes.
morning.
know, and I was just telling everyone that I really miss Mike, Tell us about what you're feeling there where you are, where you're in your community that Mike had left in Mabo.
We were, how was it? It was just,
So
it,
sad.
yes, yes, Doc. It's so sad, but it's speechless. But what Filipinos really are Filipinos. In just in a minute, we were all able to gather some help and fix up some things.
Yeah.
Yes, Doc. Until now, we do not know what to say and do not know how to react to that.
Yeah, because you stayed with Mike and family when you first got here, right? So you're
Yes,
very close to them.
yes, Doc. Actually, Joel was right. He said, "Oh, we were. This is already our 1 year here with Mike's family.
Yeah.
It was their family who adopted us first."
Yeah. And that's so sad. It really makes me so sad that happened to him. And you heard about the 100,000 just Marcos was mentioning, hundred
Yes,
thousand
yes.
dollars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just this morning, I saw that news and I said, "Oh my goodness, 100,000 is a big amount."
Yeah, nobody's gonna be able to afford that unless they're just really rich schools. So
Yes,
sounds like H1B is not gonna be an option for teachers anymore, because nobody's gonna give up 2 years
Yes,
worth of pay just to bring somebody here. So
yes,
I think
that's gonna be not an option anymore. It sounds like it's gonna be just J1.
for J1.
Yeah.
yeah.
J1 I hope is not changed like that, because that's ridiculous if it was changed. So hopefully J1B, J1 will not be the same as H1B. You know, the fees are not changed. Do you know, Myrna? It's not changed, right? Just H1B.
No, it's just the H1B according to the news.
Wow. What news were you watching it from?
Now we just saw it in president's page. From the president's page.
Oh, really?
Facebook page, from the Facebook page.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so sad. But anyhow,
And then we try to verify it by clicking the link, and it's really yes,
legitimate.
it's happening. It's happening effective September 21. That would be starting tomorrow. The effectivity is September 21, it says.
21. That's yeah, 21 is Sunday.
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc. It's tomorrow.
Wow, okay. Okay. Well, anyway, we better do something today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, Doc, Joel and I are on our way to Little Rock. My school will join the best robotics. And Doc Marlena, I did not imagine, and I wasn't expecting this. I'll be part of this robotics. So
Yay, good job. You're gonna be competing? Is that what you're saying?
we will be competing. But now we will just go there for the orientation, for the physical walkthrough. Then they will give us the kit, the materials, and we'll start the programming, the encoding with
Wow.
some of our students. So this is
Well,
something new for me.
Wow.
I was trying to avoid this. Even in Qatar, Joel and I attended a session together, but it wasn't really my priority, so I didn't mind it until I came here to the USA. That I was saying, oh yes, I cannot really say no to this.
Well, at least you got Joel there to help you, if you need it. Yeah, that's awesome that you both are really power couple in science. Just a power couple in science. They got two different schools with two different robotics program. You may be against each other. So,
Yes,
that's
literally.
yeah, you are. Yeah, anyway, well, good luck on that. Yeah, I'm glad that you attended. This is going to be a short session because of things I have to do today. But anyway, Myrna, you've always been so good at attending, like Debbie. And so I missed the others. If you ever get together with them, say, hey, Miss Marlena missed you guys. You've not been attending.
Yes, Doc. I'll tell them.
And the West Memphis bunch has pretty much not attended either. You're pretty much you and Joel are pretty much the only ones attending now. So
Maybe they're busy too, so I will let them know, sir.
Tell them they're missed, okay? They watch this video, they're gonna know. Hey guys,
Everybody's driving.
including my cousin. Yeah, hi Joel. Including my cousin, like you would think Brian would attend.
But I think if I'm not mistaken, they're trying to finish their studies. Are they the SPED?
Yeah, they're getting their masters, which is really hectic for you, to be teaching and going to school. So I understand totally. But Erwin and them, I really miss them. So Pinky Faith and yeah. So yeah, so many of them. But anyway, of course.
Doc, have you heard or have you been informed that the family of Glory Fest already here in the USA?
Oh yeah, I think I did hear that. Yeah.
Yes.
I wish that they'll come over and see us here in Arkansas.
Yes, Doc. We will plan for sure. I will organize the get together and we'll let you know.
Thank you. Hey, let me know. I think for Thanksgiving, what was everybody's plans for Thanksgiving?
We don't have any plan yet, so I think that would be a great idea. We'll open it up to them, Doc.
Yeah, find out if we can do something because I don't mind, helping or whatever, what everybody wants to do. Okay? Yeah. All right. Well, nice talking to you both and good luck on the robotics. Yeah. But anyway, all right. Well, when I talk to Mike, I'll tell him that we all miss him. So
yes. Yeah. And we'll continue praying for them. Praying for them.
Me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, thank you. And Albert, I've not heard from you. I think you're the only one here that I have not talked to. Albert, do you want to talk? Or I think Marie.
Good evening, Dr. Marlena.
How are you? Or Albert, how are you doing on your applications?
Yes, Doc. Good evening again.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
like that red
I'm
background.
here in the bodega of our neighbors because our Wi-Fi was the signal was not good.
Yeah.
So I
Smart of you to
just
do that.
connected with my neighbor's Wi-Fi.
Very nice neighbor.
Yes, Doc.
Tell them thank you. Yeah. Anyway, so Albert, where are you now on
Doc,
your application? Have you had any interviews lately?
yes, Doc. Actually, last August 11, I was I passed the pre-screening in ano ni siya, ASMISI or All Seasons Manpower International and Global Recruitment. I was offered H1B. I passed the pre-screening, and last September 11, we have our interview with the Weldon County School District.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, five of us social studies, 3 from Manila and 2 from Visayas.
Mm-hmm.
However, 3 of us was neophyte and the 2 were already from G1 program. So the 2 that has just finished their G1 program was the one who offered that H1B because they have already the experience.
Yeah, but they are supposed
Probably.
to be, they're supposed to be in the Philippines for 2 more years though, before they can be hired.
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc.
They already did their 2
Oo.
years?
They finished their G1 program, then they applied with us in All Seasons Manpower and Global Recruitment. And when we were interview in Weldon County School District, they are the one who were offered H1B because they have already experience in the US.
Yeah, but they're supposed to stay 2 years in the Philippines before they start applying. Did they already do their 2 years?
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. Okay, yeah, I know you are at disadvantage because they're gonna look at the 5 years that they already know about the US. So yeah, but if they have not done their 2 years though, that's gonna be a problem for them. And if they have not
Okay.
applied, if they have not applied already, like if they waited long and now it's gonna be at $100,000 now to pay 5 million now to pay for H1B, that's gonna be nearly impossible for people to come on H1B now. It's gonna be J1. It's gonna be J1 will be pretty much the only one unless school just has a lot of money, which I just could not see anyone doing it, you know. So yeah,
Yes,
it's
Doc.
gonna be that. It sound like that H1B program had just closed for teachers,
Oh,
you know. Yeah, so J1 will be that pretty much the only alternative. So I'm sorry that you were not in that boat yet, because if you already had applied, already been in like Marco, then you won't be affected with the new law yet. So hopefully
yes.
those 2 that just got in did not get affected, because if they started the paperwork already, they should not be affected. So anyway, yeah. But so yeah, it's that's a sad thing, but that's what we need to remember, to pray for, to pray that everybody that's already starting can get approved so they don't have to go through that, hoop, I guess. There's a hoop
Yes, Doc.
to jump, yeah. Well, good luck on did you have any other appointment or for interview before that? Was that a good experience for you on the interview?
Yes, Doc. It was a great experience. That's why up to now, I'm still applying. Direct applying. That's and waiting for some opportunity. I hope
Yeah.
there is an opportunity for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sounds like yeah, to be interviewed, you already had passed some kind of screening already. So that's good. And so continue and do not get discouraged, because I think, if it's your time to go, to come, God's gonna let you make that happen, right? For you open that door. So
Yes, Doc.
yeah. And did any of when you did your interview, did any of the things that you have learned here, were you able to apply some of them?
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc.
Like what questions were they asking you that helped you, that you remembered some things we discussed here? What kind of questions did they ask?
Out of 10 questions, there was only one question that I always so confident because we have tackled it here in our GC. It's about how are you going to integrate technology
Okay, so how did you
in your
answer?
lesson?
How did you answer that?
Cinco, I can integrate technology in our lesson because today children are so fond of using technology, and we will use technology in our lesson so that students will be engaged, and it will also make them excited to do the activities. And likewise, we can use the technology for personalized learning,
Yeah.
and somehow technology will make our activities more meaningful and interesting.
Yeah, did you name the technology? I would, if you ask a technology question, you have to name something like Blue-Kit, or, some kind of game you played with them, like, Kahoot, for example, or Blue-Kit, or it could be JeopardyLabs.com, any of those things that you could use in social studies, since you are social studies. That's what you need to make
Yeah.
sure you say. Yeah, you have to give them specific answers, something that you have actually used in your classroom. Okay, so you could
Okay.
follow it up by saying, in my classroom, I have used, Kahoot, I have used Blue-Kit because my students really enjoyed it. And JeopardyLabs.com help us review, on Fridays, let us review what we've learned that week. If it was about World War I, World War II, for example, then you could ask questions on JeopardyLabs.com or in Quizlet. So you have to be specific. Okay, make sure that you do that, Albert, because that will give you a little edge over the others. Okay, because you're putting it
Noted, Doc.
yeah, put it in your personal
Thank
experience. Okay, yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you so much, Doc.
yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. And which of those that I mentioned have you used? Have you used any of them, the Kahoot or Quizlet or, or anything?
I just answered it in a general, just a general idea
Yeah.
that I use technology.
Yeah, you cannot do that, Albert. You have to be specific. So you can start general like you did, but then make it specific. So you start big right here, general, and then make it like a little funnel, going down. So it's gonna be more specific as you go down. So you start general and then go specific. Okay. So you have to always apply in your context, in your example.
Noted, Doc.
Yeah, do that in every question. Okay.
Yes, Doc.
Start general and
Thank
then take it to Albert's experience. Okay. Yeah. And I think that really
Yes, Doc.
will give you
Thank
an
you. Thank
edge.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's Emilia. Yeah. Anyway, so any question for me, Albert, as you go through this process? I know you have been so consistent about applying, which is good. So do you have any question? Sounds like, you got it under control, huh?
Yes, Doc, because as I look at the requirements, they are some of the districts they are really looking for English, English assessment. What do we call that exam
The
for us
TESOL,
teachers to have that
the
T
TESOL.
TOEFL,
A TOEFL, yeah,
TESOL?
yeah, teacher, it's TOEFL, it's teachers of English as a second language, as a foreign language. So there are different states that do that. Which state were you talking about? Which state are you referring to? Because there are only a few states.
Mostly because I just learned, yeah.
Most of them don't want that now. Okay. Because in the past, like Texas does not require it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Texas does not require it. Arkansas requires it. So that's something that you could look on their
Okay.
website, Department of Education. So you just Google their Department of Education website, go to it, and then go under licensure requirement for reciprocity, and it should list those. So yeah, TOEFL will be mentioned if they need it. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Arkansas, we have
Okay.
lost some teachers from Arkansas to Texas because they have moved to Texas because they could not pass the TOEFL here. There's 2 or 3 that I know of that had to go, they did not want to leave their school in Arkansas, but they have to because, you are only given 2 years to pass it. So after 2 years, if you don't pass it and if you've taken it so many times, you move on, because the school will not be able to give you more extension. They have to like make you a long-time substitute, which is, I don't think that would qualify on the visa, on the J1 visa. So they'll have to find another school in order for them to, still be able to go under their program. So yeah, so that's what the sad thing that happens if it's not passed, because it has 4 components: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So a lot of times they get the speaking and listening, is the reading and writing that they fail in. So, because I think Filipinos,
Okay.
we're not bad at listening and speaking, but when it comes to writing and reading, um, they run out of time. They just do not, the reading, you
Okay.
have to, yeah, you have to read it faster and then get the correct answer. So, and they ran out of time. So they would have, like maybe half of the test done and time is up. So, a way to do
Yeah.
that is you really have to, there are some on ets.org. If you go to www.ets.org, that's who are giving the test, the practice tests, TOEFL and all that. So you need to find their practice. They have a free practice review thing there. Find it, and then you can under search, put TOEFL review or TOEFL practice. And I don't know, remember really what to, but you TOEFL is what you need to type, and then find everything there and see if there's any free things that you can practice so you can see the format of the test. And I'm pretty sure there is one that they sell, but there might be some that's also free. A lot of time they do both versions. So yeah. Yeah, you might want to look into that because you can take that now. You don't have to wait till you get here. You can actually take this
Yes, Doc.
10,000 pesos, $200. But I recommend that if you really feel like it's gonna be needed anywhere I apply, it might be worth it to you to go ahead and get it passed because once you pass it, you have it. You don't have to retake it. Okay? So that's what I would
Thank you
recommend.
so much, Doc.
Yeah, that's how I would recommend for you that because that will give you an edge again. Did you say you already have a license in one of the three states I mentioned? Do you already have your license
Not
for
yet.
that's another thing
Not
you
yet,
want
Doc.
to do. Yeah, work on that too, because that's also going to give you a little edge. So you need to Google Department of Education, New Mexico Department of Education in quotation mark, and then Illinois Department of Education in quotation marks, and then Maryland Department of Education in question mark, in quotation mark. That way it will all show up as that instead of like getting you all the Maryland things with Maryland or things with department or things with education. It's just really the whole thing. Maryland Department of Education. And then you go in a licensure and then follow the instruction under the reciprocity. Okay? Because it will list you the
Thank you
requirement.
so much, Doc.
Yeah. It's gonna be maybe about $100. Some of them, somebody said $10 on one of them, but I don't know if that is still true. But just kind of observe all three and compare it and see which one would work best for you. Okay? All right, sounds good.
Noted, Doc. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome. Okay, does Maria want to talk? Okay, bye. And Maria or Amelia? Amelia, it's nice to see you, girl. Amelia, you want to talk or Maria? Oh, there's
Hi,
Maria.
Dr. Lee.
Yeah. Hi, Maria. You're the earliest ones that come in. What's up with you?
Yes. Actually, Doc, I have been going slow with my application at present because I still need to have an updated FCE. I just graduated from my master's in SPED.
Congratulations. Good
And
job. You need a new one
yes,
for sure to update
yeah,
that.
and then I'm waiting because I can't get yet my transcript of records from the university. It's because our graduation for the trimester that we ended this September only. So our graduation will still be this coming January 2026. So I need to wait for my TOR with the annotation graduated in
Okay.
special education, master's in special education.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
I need that. Yeah, I need that before I can fully apply again, full swing apply again for any visa. I think H1 or J1. It's okay with me.
But to Maria, the H1B is gonna be not gonna be feasible anymore because they changed the fees to $100,000, which is 5 million now.
Yes, I heard about it, Doc, just a while ago. I heard about it.
Yeah, so they're not gonna be able. That's gonna be impossible for someone to pay that 100,000. That is ridiculous, but that's
Yeah,
just what it does. But
it's
the
okay, Doc,
J1,
but whatever God will
let you,
provide,
yeah, he will not. He
will
will,
give or no, I will grab it
yeah,
if given the chance.
yeah. Well, good luck
So
on
I'm
that.
waiting for Yes, Doc. So I'm just waiting for I have to have my FCE updated because one of the reasons that I got rejected is because I don't have a degree in education. I shared it with you
Remembered, yeah.
in the past. Yes, so if you remember, I am a bachelor in mass communication graduate, and I took units only in education, and that qualified me to take the licensure examination for teachers. So I was able to teach, and currently I'm still teaching actually. And because here in the Philippines, if you have a bachelor's degree and you pursue uh, units in education, you can teach.
Mm-hmm.
But but I know that it's not feasible because I got rejected 4 times by a visa sponsor. I already got 4 job offers actually
Wow.
previously,
You do interview well,
and
sounds like. Yeah. You must have
yeah,
interviewed well. Yeah.
so I passed all the interviews, and right away I always receive a GO right after the interview. But sad to say that when it's the time now for the J1, I mean the visa sponsor to scrutinize my paper, they would always say that I'm not qualified
Hmm.
because I don't have an education degree.
Yeah. And you being employed on the current year is another requirement. So make sure that you do not ever like quit teaching and just apply, because you won't qualify without being employed that year. So yeah, be sure that you are teaching the current year that you're applying. Yeah. That's another thing you need to remember. So you got your master's degree, that's one check, and then you got your teaching experience, that's another check. So just be sure that you are currently employed. Okay. All right. Good luck
Yes.
on that, Maria.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you, Doc.
You'll
Thank you,
do.
Doc
Sound like
Marlena.
you're gonna do well on any interview. Just get there, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Get
Doc.
there.
God
All right.
willing.
Yeah.
Thank
Emilia.
you.
Yeah, Emilia is the last one here. Debbie, Emilia, do you have anything new that's going on in Africa?
Oh no, not really.
Sound like you're a busy Saturday there. I could hear your kids.
I'm a house mistress, so we are receiving the students. They are coming back.
They're coming back. Yeah. When is your
Yes.
when is your start?
Like I told you the other time, because of the COVID, we have still not gotten back. So the Form 2s, the Form 1s are coming, but we have a new set of Form 1s who will be coming in October.
Ah,
So
okay.
those who are coming today will be completing their Form 1 to start Form 2.
Mm,
But I think by the end of this year, we would get back
okay.
yes,
Back to normal, possibly, huh?
yes, possible.
That's taking you a longer, huh?
Yes, so
You just have you have some careful administrators or something, or just a careful country.
and it looks like it's the politicians who are
Yeah, they're just afraid, I guess.
they are in charge of this. So,
Rules, yeah. Well, did you hear about that, Amelia? I don't know if you already are listening when they were talking about the H-1B being now $100,000.
okay, no.
$100,000. Yes, from 3,000 to 100,000 times 30.
Hey,
Yeah. So that's nearly impossible for schools to bring in H-1B. So J1 is the only one available. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But may I know why? Yeah, usually the start date is July, August. So and you were saying that now it's in October, or they are starting J1 in October. I don't know why. Is it because the teachers didn't come, or it's a new rule?
They've always done October 1 as their first the start of their new visas. So yeah, October 1 has always been that. So it goes with it doesn't sound like it goes with the school year per se, but it's with the immigration. That's an immigration thing. That's October 1 is their new year. So yeah. So now the new visas are available for the sponsors for J1 in October 1. So that's why for at least September, try to get, applied and get some interviews. That way, new visas are available. It's easier for you to get the visas, from sponsors will still have slots available. So that's why I'm
Oh,
saying,
okay.
yeah, get busy
Okay.
and get J1 and just, I guess, remove the H1B wish.
Hey.
Because it starts this Sunday. Tomorrow is the start of the 100,000
Okay.
H1B. Yeah. So that's very sad, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, very, very tough.
Yeah. But
And
it's
now
okay.
my country is part of those with the 3 months. We have shifted from 5 years multiple entry to only 3 months. So I heard they are reducing the intake from those countries. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mm.
You never
Yes,
know,
I
right? I
know.
mean, I would not know
Yes,
because
yes.
because I'm not very
You are
familiar
not
with
an
yours.
immigration, yes.
Yeah. But I
But we
think
are still
yours,
hoping.
yeah, I think yours is about the same category as the Philippines. I mean, we're developing countries, we're not, I mean, we're underdeveloped countries, but they don't want to say third world country anymore because it's not politically correct, but underdeveloped. So, and they have a limit. They have a quota, per country. And so that's what the another sad thing about that is that there is, of course we have to follow the rules, of course, but anyway, but you just, I hate that some teachers that deserve, to deserve the job because they also are needed because of the shortage of teachers.
Yes.
And that's what made me sad about that. Is like, okay, there's another path to come, to help with the shortage, but now that path is gone. So, but I also
Hmm.
understand why the government is doing that because there are some people that are abusing it, and
Oh,
so
okay.
they make it a little harder. They make it a little, jump higher. The loop
Hmm.
is closing because there's some people that are using it and it's, abusing it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh,
So,
okay.
sometimes rules are being changed because of some people that are abusing the system. And it
Yes.
makes it a victim of others, that are not abusing the system, still are victims, of the
Okay.
decisions. Yeah. Sad but true, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes,
You can see both sides. I'm a
yes.
very law abiding person, so I follow rules. I just cannot like blatantly break one. I guess that's a teacher in us that we have to follow the rules. So
Yes.
so yeah. So good luck on the J1,
Okay.
J1
Thank you.
search. Were you thinking about H1B at one time? Were you really thinking about H1B?
Oh, I was thinking of J1.
J1. Okay. Yeah. And
But H1B was also a second option though.
yeah, that's cool.
Mm.
J1, Emilia, I think if you go J1 and then get approved, I think they be asking you like, are you bringing your child with you? I think if you leave families behind, when you interview for the embassy, you'll have a better chance of getting approved because it shows that
Oh,
you still
okay.
have things link left in your country.
Yes,
Because
yes,
if you cannot establish that link, like what's the point of going back when, nobody's left, so
yes, yes,
that's why
yes.
a bunch of the visa sponsor would actually recommend you like having your family follow instead of all going with you. Because, well, for
Okay.
one, it's going to be expensive for you because our schools are not going to pay for you to bring your family. That's your expense. They usually cover yours, but the family will be
Yeah.
covered by the employee. And so
Okay.
means you're gonna have to save so much money in order for them to come. And a lot of time they don't bring all of them, they cannot afford to bring all of them at once. They would
Yes.
leave a one or two with grandma, and then just have them, in one summer vacation, they go back and get them. Yeah. And that happens a lot. Just, especially
Okay.
with people with more than one kid, that happens a lot
Mm,
that they usually leave the baby or the youngest one because of the babysitting in America is so expensive. And
okay.
if you don't know where to put their child, it's very expensive. Plus, you don't know who to trust yet. And so they
Yes.
always, if they already are school age, then you can school age kids, you can bring them because you can just bring them to school with you, right?
Yes.
And so you don't have to
Yes.
worry about babysitter because when they're out, you're out. Yeah. And that's usually the thinking that if my child is already in school, I can actually bring them here first. Yeah. What was your plan? Like when if you get a job here, what was your plan? Like I know you, what,
Oh, my plan was after a year, maybe I would bring my husband. If
Mhm.
I'm able to afford for the children, I would add them. But
Yeah. So you will do a year. Yeah, I think that would be cool because that might be part of your interview. Like, what are you gonna,
okay,
you know? And so anytime that you do an interview, it's always gonna be important to have that link that you do go back. You don't just, some people when they get, some people have bad decisions. I don't say teachers, but other people would make a
yeah,
decision that like, well, I don't have to go back and I'll just hide and, and be illegal here, which is not a good idea at all.
yes,
You don't ever overstay even one day. You'll get a ban.
yes.
You'll be banned 3 years, you ban 10 years if you stay too long. So you don't want that
Oh,
in, right? Yeah. So anyway, well, good luck. And are you continuing to apply?
yes, yes.
Okay. But you've not had any interview yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, if you do get an interview, I want you to email me and we can do a practice one-on-one. And I offer
Yes,
you and everyone else, if you are really nervous about that, I have so many questions I have prepared that we could practice and you can answer it and then I will critique it. Or you can also
okay.
watch the Josephine interview. I have 2 videos of it.
Yes,
Josephine
yes.
interviews if you've not seen it. Yeah. It's
Yes,
on
I've seen
YouTube.
it.
Yeah. It's go to my channel, just search my name, Dr. Marlena McCullough, and ITSA, ITSA, and it should show up. If you do ITSA, there's another one that says ITSA, but it's not me. So you just have to put my name.
Okay,
Yeah.
Dr.
And then look
Malina.
under Josephine video, under my videos, and there's like 500 videos there. But 107 of them will be
Yes,
Zoom. Some of them are a
yes,
lot of short videos that I would take, wherever I go. So usually when I visit schools, I would post things there. So there's an archive now of a lot of things that you can watch. And I put playlist. So some folks that are just like listening around doing something at home, but you have your computer going and you can just listen, put it under playlist under my name. And
okay.
then you could just like listen to stuff, without having to really watch, but really just listen to the information.
Listen.
Some people are doing that, yeah. So that's
Okay,
something you
okay.
could use. But we have a
Thank,
lot of Zoom sessions that have so much great ideas from folks. So those are, but if you're watching it, you can fast forward things, I'm sure, but anyhow,
yes.
whatever.
Thank you very much.
Have you seen my YouTube channel yet, Amelia?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Are you
I've
subscribing to it?
subscribed already. Yes, I've
Oh, you did.
subscribed already.
Ask some
Yes.
people to subscribe because I need 300 something, 309, I think.
Okay.
37.
Okay.
I need 307 more. So yeah, if you have teachers
Okay.
that could use some classroom management, classroom strategies, things that you could feel free to send the link to them, of our page. That'll be nice. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
All
you
right.
too.
Nice talking to you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Nice
Giselle.
talking to you too.
Hi. Yeah, Giselle. What's up with you, Giselle? I see you.
Hi, Doc. Good
Hi, what's up
morning.
with you? Good morning. What's up with you?
Um, I'm sorry. Good morning, Doc. Good
Yeah, no
morning,
problem.
everyone.
We're actually ending in 20 minutes. I'm so glad you came on. So anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was so late. Yeah, I was so late because today is my younger sister's birthday.
Oh,
So
tell her
we
happy birthday for me.
celebrated.
How old is she?
Yeah, she's 38. We're 38 today. The two of us were 38 because I'm on the 30th.
Well,
Yeah,
happy
I was not.
birthday.
Yeah.
Nice. Happy
Uh,
birthday. Yeah. So are you doing
yeah.
a big
Thank you
party?
so much.
You having a big party?
No, Doc, because we brought my mother to the hospital last
Oh,
that
no.
night because she was tumaas yung BP niya, Doc. So we had to send her to the hospital.
Is
Yeah.
she gonna
She
be
was
okay?
admitted for 2 days. Yeah,
Oh,
she's okay now.
yeah.
Kakalalabas lang niya kanina by 5.
Okay,
So
she
yun,
just came
we
out.
only have
Yeah.
short kasi yun, kalalabasan niya.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
checking on the for today, but I have applied with Forest City. This was my second application for Forest City because they, as Abby told me, they were in need of mathematics teacher, and it was not really, they haven't hired the math teacher for 2 years, I guess. So yeah, I sent, but it's in high school, but I tried to submit my papers, but there's no feedback yet.
Is your degree in elementary or high school?
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc. It's elementary, but I am mathematics major, but in elementary. So I'm trying
You're
to.
not gonna qualify, Giselle. Your
Okay, yeah.
visa sponsor is gonna say no because yeah, you cannot teach and have a degree in the opposite. It has to match. So
Okay, Doc.
and also that school so far, Giselle, have so far, and as far as I know, has not been able to keep a bunch of the Filipino teachers. Like they started with 21, 22 teachers, and they might be down to less than 10 now. So I do not know the whole reason why. I'm sure it's an inside, info, but yeah, they have not been able to keep them somehow. And so, but that is close to everybody. So, yeah, check on you know other places like Lee County might be good because that's where your cousin is. No, is there? No, you was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I think
Oh, still
there is.
Girlie's there. Girlie's still
Yeah,
there.
yes, Doc. Girly and Mamirna is there.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So you need to ask them because a lot of times when being recommended by someone, like, people that work there, that's very powerful, I think, you know. So I will resend my list again to administrators. So those are a lot of folks have sent their updated, and you have done that too, updated resume. And that's good because that link will be, going towards your updated ones. So I delete, usually when I get an update, I would delete your old one and put in your new one in. So they would have a link to your folder. So you want your folder to be updated. Yeah. So anyway, all right. So any question for me, Giselle?
so far, Doc, none. So none. But then I guess I would like to review more on the if you have remembered our discussions before with the strategies, because as I have observed, our students here in the Philippines is now like going like, I mean, Americanizing the attitudes and everything, Doc, because of the law that we have in the Philippines also. And the parents will go to the media right away, even if just a
Really?
small thing, Doc. Yes, Doc. And we have this senator here in the Philippines that would really investigate things. And sometimes parang me personally, I don't like the way he handled things. But then he's a senator, but and it's media, Doc. So yun, medyo there will be times na kawawa yung teacher kasi parang
No, you have to
parang
speak English. You cannot mix. Giselle, hang on. You cannot
sorry,
mix
sorry.
them because we had Emilia and other people watching, and that's not fair
Yeah,
to them.
sorry.
They don't get you.
Yeah, there will be times of that. It's very shameful on that teacher's part. So yeah, for this week, I'm frustrated with the attitude of my students. So I said I'm going to go back to the strategies and what I'm going to do with these kids, because the misbehavior, Doc, is really
Getting worse.
sometimes it's not really sometimes I had difficulty on handling things. And if you have remembered, we discussed the last time about calling some of them outside. I'm doing that this time again. This time, Doc, I'm going to call them one by one. If you have problem, you can tell me and something. But there is this problem that our kids, our Filipino kids, would not tell you, Doc. They
Yeah,
are, but they're keeping the problem themselves. They're not going to
themselves.
tell you.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
might want to
So
talk to the counselor, partner up with the counselor, and see if you can ask that as an option to your students. Say, hey, do Miss so and so, our counselor has offered that she will have this time. Tell them the time that she's open. That if you want to talk to her, do that because here in America we have a counselor in every building. You see. And so I don't know about in the Philippines, but I know there's been elementary counselor, there's a high school counselor. So that's always been an option. Like for me, when I had kids that really needed to talk to someone, I always would say to them, like, you know what, do you know that so and so, Miss, at that time, Miss Ilkins, I said, do you know that Miss Ilkins is a trained counselor, that she's really, that's her job. She really knows, how what to tell you and all that, and what to suggest to you. I'm a teacher, but she has a lot more training on these problems than me. So I would recommend that you go see her. She's really nice and all this. And I would tell them the time that Miss Elkins told me that she's open. and all this. So, but if you want to go now, I don't mind like getting your work right now and putting them in a folder, and you send it home with you, and you can just do your work that you're gonna miss at home. Bring it to me tomorrow or the next day. But this is more important to take care of your feelings right now of what was bothering them, because learning is not gonna occur until the amygdala part of your brain, the front part, will be taken care of. And so if that is what their needs now, they need to take care of it. And I've done that many times, especially if they're just really out of control. And I've already talked to, now with texting, it's so easy to tell, back then in the 90s, it wasn't. So I really have to literally talk to her in her office or during lunch, and I would say, hey, I have problems with so and so, with a particular child in mind, and of course you cannot discuss this in front of your peers, just one-on-one with the counselor. And I said that I would really appreciate if you can tell me a time that I could tell this child that he could see you where you don't have classes, because they have individual classes as well. They have to go to different, they have classes coming into their, office. So that's why you have to ask, when is a good time for my child to come see you? And I think you were here when I said something about, I even used this thing where there was this child really likes this administrator. So I actually use that and partner up with her. Like, when so-and-so is good, I'm going to make it not as a punishment, but as a reward that she gets to see you, and will do her work in your office if you'd let her. She said, yeah. And I said, okay, because our class is way better without her there. I mean, we could accomplish a lot more. And so that, and she had to earn that award, that reward. She had to earn that reward in order to go to see Miss Jackie, And so that worked for me for that year anyway. So what other strategies do we say? Talk to them privately. Discipline with dignity is something you'll need to always remember, that you don't scream at them, you don't get sarcastic or just insult them in front of others. That's big no-no. Once you did that, you lost, because the other kids are going to get their sympathy. They're going to be all against you. You're going to be the bad guy. So yeah, always show respect, because that's what you earn. That's also how you earn their respect, because you respect them first. But if you're going to be mean to them and going to talk to them rudely, they're going to be rude to you too. So even if, you talk rudely to one person, and everybody's going to say, okay, so this rudeness is allowed in this classroom, so they're going to be rude to each other. Okay, so it's going to be reflected in their relationships with others. So yeah, I think a kind classroom, and this is what I could recommend, Giselle, and I know you already do this, but a kind classroom that's respectful to students and expect students to respect each other is going to go a long, long way. Because what a cutie. It would go a long, long way if you have a kind and respectful classroom. And it starts with you. So I see some teachers that are kind of mean to their students, and the students are also mean to each other. And when I observe a classroom and I see that, I always mention it to a teacher, like, I noticed that so-and-so was saying, shut up to somebody. Is that something that's is that happening here in your classroom? And what do you do when it does? And so she said, well, I'm sorry, but I do that to them. And I'm like, that's exactly where they got that. They would emulate what you do. They just follow you. It's like, So what else have you tried? Let me think. Oh, Dojo, Class Dojo, DOGO. That's an app. And see if your school, I don't know, I think it's a free app. But anyway, the nice thing about it with the technology now is they get rewards, and then it goes straight to their parents. And you can communicate to their parents through the app. So Class Dojo, DOGO, try that. And try it and see if there's something that would work in the Philippines. I have just watched a classroom this week that used that very good, very well. What she does was she wants to make sure that the little sound that happens when they get a reward from Dojo is high, so it's like loud enough for the other kids to hear. Like boom, she just said, okay, reward for you. I'll give you a Dojo, and then she would push in her phone, and then the whole class could hear that that sound of the Dojo being given, and then everybody's like, okay, they will like try to straighten out and try to behave themselves too, because they also want the Dojo, because their parents are happy to see them. It's like giving them a digital sticker. It's what it's like, but you're giving a good positive report to the parents about their behavior. So yeah, so a bunch of teachers, especially those that are not afraid to use technology, are very successful with it and are able
That's it, Doc. That's I guess the problem that we had here because though yeah, we have already smart TVs in the school, but we have limited access to internet because we are located in a uh, far away school, like it's a mountain school, Doc, and we have to cross a river so that we can get there. That's why they built a school there because of the river. Now when where I think you know Mananga River, right? It's from
Yeah,
Talisay.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a big one. Yeah. Yeah. The school that I'm located is you have to cross Mananga River.
Wow.
Then yeah, it's in a mountain. Yeah. Before they don't have bridge, so the kids have to cross the river, and during flood, Doc, it's very
Dangerous.
dangerous to the kids. Yes, so that's why they could not go to school. So here in our place, we only have barangay, but we have two schools, and that seldom happen, Docs. The two elementary schools because of our situation. And there, yeah, we have. I think we have limited access to internet. We are not covered with smart, and here we have smart Globe and dito as the major internet providers, Doc. But we are using Starlink. We are connected to the it's a US based because we cannot use the we are out of the coverage of smart and Globe. Yeah, so
Hmm.
that's our problem, and our
Wow.
students don't have gadgets. Yes,
In
that's the challenge, Doc.
2025. Yeah, it's still in
Yeah.
2025. I didn't think that would
Yes,
be,
Doc.
but yeah, so sad, but true, huh?
Yes, also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to tell you on that. You may have to do something old-fashioned like a sticker chart, of some kind. You see some
Yeah.
people, I remembered having to use this too before where I had like a little square of paper, 3x3, so nine spots for stickers. And then when they filled up that one, they get to go to my treasure chest. I've done that before
Yes,
to keep up with that. So every time like, oh, I'm already 8. I have one more and I can go to the treasure chest. That's our ticket to the treasure chest. So you can do something like that, 3x3 little square. You can make it on the on your Microsoft Word, where you just make table 3x3 and then enough for the sticker. And then they have to keep up with their names on top and they have to keep up with it because they'll turn that into you with it's filled up. And then
yeah.
I don't keep it. I give it back to them after they get the prize, but that way the parents can have it if they want it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm using the paperclip thing. I think it was Abby who introduced that one. I'm using Doc, and it really worked. I have worked that with some of my pupils. Like, the first one to I think to cross to make it to the bottom. The group, yes, Doc, I have done the first quarter. I had a group. I have given them rewards, and really, Doc, they're really very happy. In my classroom, I have this one pupil that he's very silent. He's a boy, but he's very silent. But I have discovered that he has his leadership skills because I made him the leader for the first quarter. And he did great. Their group really won the
competition.
yes, they won that. And I have the prize that I have given is a marker and a paper clip because I had required them for their modules. We call it modules, Doc. So they have to highlight some important things of their notes. So yeah, they are very happy. Yeah, it really worked, Doc. Yeah,
It
yeah, it's
does.
very nice.
It
Yeah, it
does.
does. But as
And
I'm saying, there is just this. I think there are 3 of them who I think really needs. One of them I had communicated with the mother. I said I need to understand what is happening with your son. Is there a problem at home? And I have also heard from this child, Doc, something negative about. But I was not able to get the whole point that he was talking. It's just like the word buwag, Doc. But I don't know if it's about his parents or it's
Sometimes it
about
is.
something.
Sometimes it
Yeah.
is.
So
Buwag
I told.
buwag means separation, Amelia. We don't have
Yeah.
divorce
Yes.
proceedings, but they have separation. But yeah,
Yes, Doc.
that affects the children for sure. So
Yeah.
that's something that you may want to talk to the parent and say, I don't want to be in your business, but it's just that I notice a difference with your child. Your child is acting differently and all this. And this is where if you do a daily journaling, even in math, you have a math journal where they express how they solve problems step by step. And they do error analysis if they have a problem, which steps that they have a problem with. That's when they could put in the bottom there some things about feelings, some things about how they feel about, about their day, about math, about solving this math problem, anything they want to say, you can put it in the bottom. And your math journal would also be a really good way for you to know how they're feeling. And so we have folks now, I'm encouraging everywhere I go, I'm encouraging them not to have not just journal in illiteracy, but also in math. So you have a math journal and a science, usually a science interactive notebook, they call it. And so you can also have a math interactive notebook. But anyhow, if you start having them write those, then you can see how they're feeling or a misconception they may have about how to solve a problem. Why are they always not carrying? Because they thought this one, So the misconception, you can read it because they wrote it. Some of the math teachers, they would have them to write like a little sentence or two, but then the rest will be bulleted. These are the steps I did, whatever, and then they could bullet them. But yeah, I would encourage you to do that. Do a check-in. How's your day? 1 to 5, 3 because I have a headache, or 2 because I had, my friends were really mean to me today, and all that. Or they could be saying something about the parents. So that's a check-in for 5 minutes. Set your alarm for 5 minutes. In 2 minutes, you give them, in 2 minutes left, you give them a time alert. You need to say, guys, you have 2 more minutes to, to write down your check-in. How you feeling today? How are you feeling about math? Or about the assignment, any prompt that you want to know about them, but can tie it to math, because you want it to be relevant to your subject. But at the same time, that's an SEL, a social, an SEL, social emotional learning. That is part of the heart. That's the heart of the matter, not just about the brain, but that's the heart, putting it in for 5 minutes. But you get to you get to know your students, powerful for core proposition 1, knowledge of students, because then every day you know exactly whose heart is, broken, whose heart is so happy. I have a 5 today because I'm excited about my birthday, or I have a 5 because my best friend's coming over, or spending the night, or things like that. So I always got to know my students through their daily communication notebook for me. I always had that every single year that I taught. Even when I taught high school, they have their daily notebook that they did a check-in. So that I would recommend it to everyone, and that might help with your issue with the attitude things, because you can always write back to the students. They write, and I could always put a comment on it. And especially if you use gel pens to write to them in different colors, like purple or whatever, they love those gel pen stuff. So I would always write back to them, hey, great job, whatever, I love the way that you're thinking. I enjoyed reading this, or, good luck on whatever it is that they were, looking forward to. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you had, didn't feel well today, or, anything like that. Just also put your heart back to respond to them. And a lot of times you will see a huge difference in their attitude, because they start bonding with you and they start wanting to please you. Because if a child likes the teacher, they're going to go a long, long way to try their best to please you. And that's what I've always noticed, kids that, when they like the teacher and you are their favorite teacher, for example, they're just going to go above and beyond in your classroom that they don't in the other classroom. They would, the other teachers would say things to me, and my sister would say, what are you sisters doing to the students? They are so not doing well with us, but then they always do well in your classrooms. They would do things like that because we are, I said, kindness, I tell you, kindness goes a long, long way. And knowing your students through their writing is another one that's so powerful to me. So those are some things that I've always been consistent. And on top of that, I had a back burner jar, which is a little piece of paper that you could, we recycle those pieces of paper at the back, and they put it in this jar that I just put a lid, put a hole, and they stick it in there. And then whenever they're doing some independent work, I go and check those out, because those are things I have to take care of now. So like back burner, I have to make sure I take care of it today. So I would read it and all that. And if they said, well, I really need to see the counselor today, or whatever, they said, oh, my so-and-so died, or my dog died, whatever. I'm not ready to learn because my heart's broken. And so yeah, those things I would call them out, and I would just like pat their back and say, I'm so sorry to hear that. Is there something, that I can do? Do you need to see a counselor? Do you, I would say things like that, but because their back burner jar, I always make sure that little jar is empty before that period is over, before they leave. That way I'm taking care of little business like that. It's not, and my rule was it has to be serious enough. I have to take care of it right now. Otherwise, it's going to go in your journal. So, yeah, you just have to make that example. But those things like that, little simple, Giselle, would work and would also fix their attitude. Yeah. And when you stop their attitude, sometimes you could use humor, but then you really have to be serious about, guys, let's
Yes.
revisit our expectations. Let's go back to our rules. I'm sorry. I have a call. Let me see. Hang on. Hi, Christina. Can I call you back? I'm in Zoom. Okay. Okay. Bye-bye. Anyway, so I'm sorry, I should have turned that off, but I didn't. So that's what you could do is even if it's like 2 months or a month before the school is out, I could revisit the rules always. I'm like, guys, I noticed that let's go back to our rules because it's always posted. I said, let's go back to 3. I've noticed a lot of infraction of folks breaking this rule. Can we fix this rule? How can we make this more specific? And you could put a little bullet under that big rule. For example, respect. So you can put some specific bullets, mini bullet under that. So that way, if you see something that people are always having attitude issue or whatever, then you can but have it to like a meeting with them. You say like, okay, this is what I've noticed. So as a class, let's revisit our expectations, our classroom expectations. How can we fix this where we can remind each other because it's up on the wall on what needs to be added there? Yeah, if it's an attitude issue, add that. How do you say that? So maybe positive attitude, not, or growth mindset, so anything like that, you can help them with the terms, but have them to verbalize it, because a lot of times they also notice the same thing. So it might not just be happening in front of you, it's also happening in the playground. A lot of times.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, I had playground duty. So that's when I actually I felt like that was my detective, way to find out what's going on. Because in the playground, I would notice who they're playing with, who they're and all that. I could see how they act or look at somebody that they don't like. I would notice these things. Well, I'm always all over, would visit with them, talk to them. Some of them would recite their multiplication table to me because it still counts. So if we're working,
Yes, Doc.
yeah.
I'm doing that now, Doc. I have my 6th grade, and I think they are defaulting. Oh, you cannot graduate if you cannot memorize the multiplication table. And I have them surprises, Doc. Like I have I'm going to write their name. It's just like sometimes I'm doing spin the wheel, Doc. But again, sometimes
The wheel is
I
good.
do the bonut thing, and I'm going to
Yeah,
okay, you
go.
memorize this one. To surprise them, Doc. Yes, because
Good for
they
you.
don't have
Yeah, math teachers and in high school would thank you for that, because that when they go to algebra and they don't know their basic math, that's going to be an issue with them. They might know how to do it, but then they have a very, very an error of just multiplication or division, not a good thing. So yeah, so I would really highly recommend for math teachers that have them to do a table at a time. I always did table 7 was always my first one because the calendar. I would have them see the calendar, 0, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. They would memorize all the way to 70. And then they would have to to recite it to me. Sometimes before, when I have a minute or two before the bell, and I would have them to line up. In order for them to line up first, I want to see if they know their table 7. And then tomorrow, if we're gonna then 2 or 3 days later, if we do table 8, then they have to go back to 7 and 8, mix them back up, because the 6 to 9 tables are gonna be the tricky one. Do you do the multiplication?
they had thing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know that really, Doc, because I was used to it. I was young. I am memorizing, Doc. So I really had difficulty that. But some of my students are using that. Their
yeah,
parents taught them that. Some
yeah,
of my students are good at that.
yeah. They're
But
10, 9. Look, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, right? So the 10,
yes,
the 10 and number 10, you combine, you connect them. I call them the bridge where they connect. So from the bridge down, it's times 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So 10 times 10 is 100. But if you have 9 times 9, so there's connecting 8. That's from the bridge down is 80. And then on top of the bridge is 1 times 1. So it's 81. 9 times 9 is 81. See? And then 9 and 8. See, I'm going to combine 9 and 8 like this. So from the bridge down, there's 7. 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And above the bridge is 2 times 1. So 72. You see it?
That's nice.
Yeah.
I
So
really don't have that time. Yeah, I understand it now, Doc.
10?
Yes, yes, Doc.
Yeah. So 8 times 8. So you got your bridge down. So you're going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And above the bridge is 2 times 2. So 4, 64.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome, Doc.
Huh?
Yeah, I really don't have time for that big photo because really I was able to memorize the multiplication tables. I was in grade 3, and it really until now, Doc, I am going to
Remember.
told my students that even if you are going to in our term bali-balihon ko ninyo
Yeah, you
makamemorize
can
ra ko.
remember.
That's
But the
something
thing
like that.
is, if
Yes,
they are
Doc.
so nervous about the test, they have something to help them, So
Yes, Doc.
it's a backup, it's a plan B. So that's what I've always taught them different ways. And some of them would go like before it was timed, they would actually make the multiplication table, and actually would make it. I'm like, that takes forever. Now that it's timed, you can't do that. But if you're not timed, you can actually use that, they know how to make the multiplication table and just use it as long as they made it
Yes,
their own. But memorizing it to me is the best because that's why I always
yes.
say that the two things that students should memorize are ABCs and multiplication tables. Everything else can be you can find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those multiplication, because in math, they're going to do in America, for example, basic math, they cannot use their calculator, but when it's problem solving, they're allowed to use their calculator because you're just solving problems. But on just basic computation, they have to not use calculators. So they have to show what they know, about the basic math things, the computation. So yeah, it's important to know because people are complaining. I know we're about to end because we're 5 minutes over than what I said. People are complaining that when I go to the store, these kids are working there and they don't even know how to count back. Like there's $100 and they got 11. So 11, so you need to count up to 12, all the way to 20, and then add the rest of the change. They do that. They want to count up in order for the accuracy. They don't know how to do that. They're like, well, this is what the cash register said. They don't know how to do, because those are some things I actually taught to my students, as if you're working as a store and let's replay money and let's do this. What would you change? How would you count it back? And including when I was teaching elementary, I taught them how to write a check, because in America, we write checks all the time. And I had I think 3rd grade for Jet to open an account. So he already had a
Wow.
check, he
Yeah.
couldn't write check, the debit card thing. But yeah, we did that because he was making money on chores. So every Friday we would deposit in his account. So that's the thing with
Wow.
that. And Dwayne and Jet would do every it's a father-son bonding day on Fridays afternoon after school. They would go to the bank because the bank has this celebration popcorn party type thing for the kids in order to encourage them to deposit every Friday. So that was a little program for the bank, that they would feed them popcorn in the lobby and they deposit. So that's what they did. So that's something, yeah. And so anyway, in the classroom, you can do something like that. You could have a Giselle box or, a last name. What's your last name again, Giselle?
Yes, Doc.
Yes, you have a Macias box, where you have this little paper and you put your face on the picture. That's Milet call it, hers is Trotter. So
Yeah.
she calls it
Yeah.
Trotter.
The charter box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never did that. I just always use that
Yes.
or whatever. Yeah. So different strategies like that would work. Okay. All right. So we're going to close up. Is there any last minute things that anyone can say? Thank you again, Giselle. I appreciate it. I'm
Thank
really
you,
proud
Doc.
of you for applying the things you've learned here. That
Yes,
you're
Doc. I really wanted to, it's like we're over time, but then the things that we've been doing in the Philippines, Doc, it's really different from the one that I have learned from you, Doc. Like, the tradition Filipino teaching thing. Like we can scold the students in front of the class. That thing, Doc, and yeah, my weakness, doc, is really noise. I'm working on that. I really hate noise, doc. I'm working on that. Every time they have now, I'm letting them do group works, like they do role play, they do rap, they do singing, like with my social studies class. My really my weakness is that noise sometimes. Oh my god! But I'm reminding myself now. Okay, this is okay. This is educational noise.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Productive
Yes.
noise. Yeah. You just have to have productive noise, and you need to post on the wall that you need to post your noise levels. So 0, so that way you can just signalize to them. 0 means quiet, complete quiet. 1 is that they're whispering. They're whispering to each other. 1. 2 is that they're just talking plainly, like regular talk. And then the 3 would be like a presentation talk where they have to be louder. So that all you have to do is show them that, okay, guys, remember noise level, check up noise level. So 0. And so 1, they should be whispering. So you can kind of do that too, because that way you can control it that way. And but you have to also convince yourself that this is a productive noise. This is something that they're
So,
gaining something from. Because I was the same way, Giselle. And I think it's a cultural thing for us. I was the same way when I
yes,
started
doc.
teaching. I thought everybody has to be quiet. But you know what? The ones where the students are talking to each other, that's the most learning. Okay, being quiet there, listening to you, unless they are auditory learners, which is only about 20% or less. So you really want them to be talking to each other and doing some things together. And that's where the learning is. Okay, that the
Yes,
student
doc.
discourse where they are discussing things, that's powerful. So even in math or social studies, definitely, have them to talk. Okay. I finally told myself, you know what? If the students are talking, they're learning. So I need to make sure that they're talking about what we're talking about, not about the weekend or about what they're gonna do in Boy Scout, on Girl Scout, because it's on task. If it's an on-task learning and this is something I have guided, then that should be okay. Now they just need to learn inside voices. I used to say, you know what, I want you to pretend that this is like you are like the American spies, and there's some Russian spies waiting. The other group are like the Russians, and they're like listening to your ideas. So you have to whisper. Okay, you have to whisper what you're saying, because otherwise they're gonna steal your ideas. And they really elementary. They take this. They were like, oh, yeah, you don't want them to steal our ideas. And so I did that. High school, I didn't even try to do that. They're gonna think it's too childish. But anyway, but in elementary it worked. They were like whispering like crazy because they
Yes,
really
doc.
do not want their ideas to not be original. Anyway, all right. So I guess I have to say bye to everybody, and you can tell I get so excited when I think of the classroom and the things that we did in
Yes,
the
doc.
classroom. That's so
Yeah.
exciting for me. But anyway, all right, guys, thank you so much. I see Amelia,
Thank you so much,
Giselle, yeah, James
Thank
and Maria is still
you.
here, and Debbie, yeah,
Thank
so
you.
Jessa, yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you in 2 weeks, which is 27, not 27, but it's gonna be the 4th. October 4th is our next one. That's Zoom number 108. Okay, so I will send you the link to this video, and if you don't get that, then in the next today at least, then you need to email me mccullomarlena@gmail. That means I somehow did not get you in my distribution list. Emilia,
Okay.
you're getting it already. You get the link to it, and it's usually posted via Facebook and YouTube. Okay. All right. Love you
Yes,
guys.
thank you so much,
Bye.
doc. Thank you.
Enjoy
Bye-bye.
your weekend. Okay. Bye-bye. The rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.